What's up, y'all? It's your boy Niner Faithful. How's everybody doing? Hope everyone's doing legendary. It's been rough without football. We got Jason waiting in the green room. But before we get started with today's show, we, of course, got to remind you to stay tuned to the end of the show for your special 10% coupon code for all For the Faithful, by the Faithful Season 2 apparel. Of course, help out Niner Faithful by using our shop49ers.com affiliate link. Link will be available in the description of the video and podcast. Go to SeatGiant.com. Use the promo code Niner Faithful Radio to save on all your theater, concert, and sporting event tickets, as well as help out the show. Follow us on social media. Jason does a bang-up job on Facebook, Instagram, and Tumblr at Niner Faithful Radio and Twitter at Niner Faithful R. To see everywhere you can subscribe to the show, go ahead and visit NinerFaithfulRadio.com/subscribe. Ladies and gentlemen, faithful of all ages, let's get the show cracking.
You are now listening to Niner Faithful Radio, the show for the faithful, by the faithful.
What's cracking, Jason? How you doing, bro?
What's up, man? Been a minute. How you doing?
Yeah, been some time. How was the V-Day, bro? I didn't even get a chance to ask you that.
I don't celebrate.
Yeah, y'all don't do anything?
No, because it's a made-up corporate holiday. It's BS. I don't think I've ever once celebrated Valentine's Day. And look, man, this is what I said. If we are not celebrating Steak and BJ Day, which is March 14th, I don't want to hear shit about Valentine's Day.
Hey, I mean, yeah. Anyway, Bubby, if you're watching, hint, because we celebrated Valentine's Day.
Look, it's an actual thing, by the way, just so you know. Steak and BJ Day is an actual
thing. Yeah, I've heard of it before.
Yeah.
So before we get into today's show, I actually really want to give a shout out. I went to a funeral this weekend. It was my sister's dad. Who basically, let's be honest, head of the season boys, bang, bang. Roberto, what's up, bro? How you doing? How's the offseason treating
what's
you,
up, bro?
I want to check in on all our fam that watches the show regularly. Make sure y'all doing okay. It's been kind of rough without Niner football, I ain't gonna lie. Even though it's only been a couple weeks. Super Bowl, Bubby and I went mini golfing and had a look state. See, everybody's been telling me that, and I'm just like,
it's not bad. Man. Like with the rule changes and everything, I've been watching some of the games. It's not bad.
I'm gonna have to. Thanks for the love on Facebook, Roberto. I actually have to see because Bubby, she's very good about Sundays during pretty much around her birthday to end of January. XFL might help get through the offseason. Yeah. She's really good about basically football season. Hey, Bubby, I know, Sundays are football day. Like, it is what it is. But off season's mine. So off seasons when I get the honey to-do list and hey, we're going paddle boat riding and mini golfing. And, mini golfing was fun, though. We actually just got our PS4 yesterday. So got that hooked up and everything. But I want to get back to big shout out to Daddy Richard. RIP. I ain't gonna lie, it really kind of hit me the last couple of days. This is the first time in pretty much as far as I can remember. I mean, to say this man knew me longer than I've been a Niner fan, that's saying something. And this man did. Matter of fact, he was the one that took me to buy.
I forgot I was
Sea Dragons for life. Anyway, so I actually I don't even know what teams we have. I think we have a team in Oakland. I don't know. I have a problem with going with the Oakland team though. Like that just kind of feels kind of dirty to me. One of the reasons I'm actually not a Warriors fan. But so big shout out to Daddy Richard. Got a cool watch in inheritance. Miss you, love you. Thank you. I would definitely not be the man today if it wasn't for you. Rest in peace. Anyway, getting today's show. Jason, I asked you this question off air, and I'm going to go ahead and give you a chance to do it on air. Was it the 2022 season a success?
No, we didn't win.
No.
We didn't win a Super Bowl. Anything less than the Super Bowl is obviously not a successful season. But for all those that have been, following everything, I have said that while it was an unsuccessful season, damn, was it a hell of a fucking ride.
It was a ride.
It was from everything from the start, literally from the start of training camp and even before until basically the end of the NFC Championship game. Tell me a game where we didn't have like a week's worth of crazy shit to talk about for the most time. We going to this game one. We're the most hyped up team. We're actually even before that preseason. Trey Lance. Oh, Jimmy's gone. He's on a different field. Bam. Next thing you know, he's back on the team as a backup.
Wow.
6 quarters in. Oh, look, Jimmy's now the starter. Oh, no, wow, this team's really good. Jimmy's hurt. Brock Purdy. Oh, shit. Now what are we going to do with this, Mr. Irrelevant? It's just, then we go, oh, no, Brock Purdy's hurt. Now we're going to do, oh, no, Christian McCaffrey is in quarterback. Just like a hell of a fucking run, man.
When the George Kittle catch versus Cry Girls, honestly, is that the catch for if we win the Super Bowl? Are people calling that the catch for? I think that might be the catch for if we win the Super Bowl.
He didn't score. I get you
and also
you got to score.
I said that without even like processing it, and that's why I love doing the show because I could just blurt things out and kind of work it out on air. But the reason
we don't call his catch against the Saints the catch for. So what
that has
scored on one of those. If we had scored on one of those, then yes.
Yeah, I will see. And my thing about it, when you look at the catch, the reason the catch is, I should say, are so iconic is it was last minute. Essentially, they were all game-winning scores.
Yeah.
The first two were legitly a game-winning score, and then the final one, pretty much all three were legit game-winning scores. This one, R.I.P. Faithful. Thank you, Roberto. Appreciate that. So what? So going back, let me see. My favorite memory of the season, probably the Miami game. Just going back, just Christmas was fun, going with Bubby and everything like that. But we obviously, you and I had the pre-party, which was pretty fun. Had a few drinks. But to go in the Miami game. Just this feeling, because let's be real, we'll get into this later and obviously have all offseason and health is obviously a big factor of this. I remember going into the season be like, basically anytime I spoke about Brock Purdy was pretty much how the season was going to be done. And the play that will always stick into my mind with Brock Purdy was that George Kittle catch in the 2-minute drill that happened going towards us and everything like that. And just that throw right there, I said, all right, that's quarterback. Like, fuck physical skills, biggest arm, whatever it is. I mean, how many quarterbacks we still didn't have the physical, can you play the position of quarterback? Can you stand back there in the pocket? Can you read defenses? Can you fire the ball? Can you take a hit? All those type of things. I mean, Joe wasn't the best physical gifted quarterback, but I think that ultimately, if you could model yourself, maybe some people would say Tom Brady, but if you could just the intangibles of any quarterback, I think it would be Joe Montana. As far as heart, grit, clutch, those type of things. And Brock definitely showed some clutch. Favorite game though, honestly, it was probably the Raider game. Honestly, that was probably the funnest game. Like the Miami game was fun. We're there. Will go down as one of my favorite Niner games ever. But the one that really was the Raider, I think that was because that's back and forth. I mean, you had Christian McCaffrey. That's what I really thought. Like, okay, this offense could be something. Because it's one thing to blow teams out and everything like that, but what happens when we don't have our D doesn't have our A game?
Yeah.
What happens when we go up against a juggernaut Eagles team? Now, ultimately, I think that game would have gone a lot different because if Dave Lombardi, and I hate to do the hindsight and shit, but if you look at it, minus a fumble, minus two Niners turnovers, the D essentially shut him out. If you take away that catch, I will forever go with saying that this game turns out different if Kyle challenged, and I'm not necessarily blaming Kyle, I'm just saying if Kyle challenges that, they clearly rule it incomplete. We get the ball back, we've stopped them, so that now we can go get the lead, even if it's a field goal. I think that game change. I think that ball game changes. Maybe Kyle doesn't even call that play. Ultimately, I don't think it would be the season, a season recap with you going ahead and you spilled it out beautiful, bruh. The breakdown of the play that ultimately got Brock Purdy injured. I think you broke it down beautifully.
Oh, about that. No matter who was uh, blocking him, and like I said, the Chiefs had their second and third tight ends blocking all pro tight end or defensive ends, and look who won the Super Bowl. And so, I mean, it was a bang bang play kind of a thing. It could have happened to any player, anytime. It was a bad play. There's nothing. It could have been George Kittle. It could have been Trent Williams. Anybody could have missed the block or anything like that. It's just what happens. We have angered somebody when it comes to our quarterbacks getting injured. I don't know what we need to sacrifice or whom for that kind of thing, but there's just something with this team and just getting quarterbacks injured, and it's just injuries are part of the game of any game. And I've had people, around here because obviously I'm in Seattle. They're like, "What the hell is with you guys and quarterbacks?" There's like, it makes no sense. You guys can get a million injuries everywhere else, but no, they're all at the most important position in all of sports. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I agree with you. Like, in the sense, was it a bad play call? Yeah, it was a bad play call.
No, the play call was fine.
In hindsight, of course, Kyle would have called a different play. Like that's retarded to say.
He called the same play because you're counting on you're counting on that to get blocked, but players make or don't make plays. So I mean, the play call was right. We just had one person make a bad play,
and I said,
and
look,
he was open.
And Lombardi said this: Brock needs to step up there.
Yeah, he should have stepped up in the pocket.
And Brock steps up, fires that ball. That's a big play to BA.
I've seen so many people try and jump down Kyle's throat about this. It's like, come on. What else are you going to do?
Look, Kyle should have coached his ass off. And I go with what Steve Young said, which is basically Steve said, "You're retarded. Shut the fuck up. You don't know what you're talking about." And I'm sorry. I'm going to listen to the gloat here. The man that was brought into the organization by the greatest coach and really had some of the greatest Niner coaches. When you talk about, I'm sorry, still believe Steve Mariucci was a better coach than people give him credit for. And I think he got the raw end of the deal because he came towards the end of the dynasty where we were going to face cap hell.
Yeah.
Honest opinion of Josh Johnson's performance. Yeah, I mean, Jason said it best. Journeyman quarterback for a reason. I think that's unfair for him just because it was like, of course he wasn't prepared to go into that game. Could the Niners have won that? Could the Niners have won that game if Josh Johnson simply just functioned? Said, hey, I'm going to complete the easy passes. I'm not going to do too much, and I'm going to hand off to number 23. Sweet passes to number 3. Yeah, I do believe there is a way. But once he started fumbling snaps and,
Why didn't we go to what we did in 2019 with Jimmy G in the playoffs? Why did we do that? No, instead we're pushing the ball down the field with fucking Josh Johnson.
Yeah, that was just...
We should have just opened up that playbook again and went back to that, and I think we would have been fine.
I think it was very clear from those 6 plays and everything like that. I felt Kyle thought he would have... especially now. I haven't heard all the quotes and everything like that, but it feels like the offensive players that have spoken feel that they were going to expose the Eagles. They were going
Yeah,
to
I mean,
expose that
they've pretty
secondary.
much, especially Debo and BA, have basically
Yeah.
called him out many
Called him out,
times.
and
Yeah.
it's going to be. Look, honestly, if they won the Super Bowl, Week 1 was going to be Niners Eagles.
Probably, I could easily see that.
I guarantee
Yeah.
you it would be Niners Eagles. They would have been retarded if it wasn't. To me,
The game's in Philly.
I would
Yeah,
say say next year the game's not before Week 10. It's
I don't know.
Sunday night or
That
Monday
is
night.
It's gonna be prime time for sure. That
Yeah,
game's
it's
prime
Sunday
time.
night, Monday night, guaranteed. It's not going to be a Thursday night football.
Yeah, better not.
It's going to be late in the season because what they're going to want it to be is for basically top seeding in the conference.
Yeah,
that's what it's not going to be quite with the NFC, and I bet you the NFL would kill to have Niners Eagles an NFC Championship game next year. And pray everybody makes it through that game healthy. Because
I wouldn't be surprised for Week 1 because you still got a bunch.
Somebody
of
asked me this. Yeah, get it over with. My question to you, and I know how you're going to go with this, so I'm going to phrase it a little different. They asked me, is Niner Eagles a rivalry? But I will ask, what is it going to take? How much more is it going to take for Niners Eagles to become a rivalry?
I would say it'd have to be along the lines of something that we did over the last, let's say, 6-7 seasons with the Pack. It's going to be, we're going to have to face them in the playoffs. I would say 3 out of the next 4 years, something like something along those lines. Probably play each other during the regular season this year, maybe not next, but the year after. Depending on how seeding goes and all that. But I mean, it would probably take let's say 5 games, and it would all have to be kind of like with the Seahawks and like the Packers and stuff like that. For it to get really hot really quickly, it's going to have to be good games between each team, and it's going to have to go back and
forth. It
means
something. Games that mean something.
Yeah.
If this is week 17, both teams have clinched, their positions. You know what I'm saying? That it's going to lose some of it.
Yeah, because they're going to be sitting and all that kind of stuff. But
it's definitely has the potential. Like next year's going to be juicy. So it's okay, fine. Niners go out, Niners beat them.
Where is that game? It's in Philly next year, isn't it?
Yeah, it's in Philly.
Okay, yeah. So back to
Philly.
Back to the scene of the crime, basically.
Yeah. Oh, it's gonna be epic. Hubby's basically begging me not to go. She's begging me not to go, but I want to go so bad, bro.
Man, that's gonna be a rough game just because Philly's rough. Yeah. That's a rough ass sports town in general.
No, it is.
And then you're gonna throw this on top of it. That's gonna be kind of.
Like I told my girl, I was like, Philly's gonna Philly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're gonna. That's just what they are.
They beat up Santa Claus for fuck's sake.
That's why, right? They booed Santa. That's why I like. Look, is it appropriate? Is it disrespectful what they said to Fred Warner's wife? Yes. Is it appropriate to say you hope somebody plane crashes? But am I shocked? Am I like, no? This is what Philadelphia does. This is to me. This is a sensitive nature of our society now. When it's like I know, like I told my girl who you've seen my girl Jason. I said, Bub, you don't think there's gonna be fat jokes flying your way?
I mean, if I win, it'd be coming at me.
Yeah, I was like, they're probably gonna be coming at me. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's gonna whiff whistle because of my man boobies or something like that. Like,
they're gonna. I remember they're gonna get called as a black man. You know it's coming.
Yeah,
someone's gonna slip off and say it.
Somebody's gonna say it. Yep. So I told her there's stories of when the Giants played the Phillies in 2010. They were wolf whistling at Tim Lincecum because of his long hair. Yeah, they were wolf whistling. So this is where I kind of know where you're going into, know the situations you're in, know your environment. So yeah, you're Fred Warner's girlfriend. What do you think they would like? Middlecoff said it best, because he worked in Philadelphia. He said, "What do you think they were going to do? High five you? Like,
It's not excusable. Like, it's not excusable. I mean,
It's
some of the
rude,
shit that
it's
goes on
rash,
is
it's classless, but that's Philadelphia.
Yeah, it's like it's not going to happen. When we go to Pittsburgh, that shit isn't going to happen in Pittsburgh.
No.
That's going to be a very outlying kind of one or two fans in like Pittsburgh.
Oh yeah.
In Philadelphia, it's going to be the whole fucking stadium.
Yeah, of course there's going to be fans anywhere you go. You get enough drunk people somewhere, you're going to meet an asshole. But it's like Philadelphia is everywhere. When we went to Denver, right? Couple people like not really like shit talk, just more like jabbing. You know what I'm saying? But nothing I would say was severe shit talking.
Yeah.
But just natural jabs like, hey, I got to do it. And I'd be like, look, bro, I'm not mad. If y'all came to Levi's, I'd be doing the same thing. You know what I'm saying?
Shit talking and just being a complete asshole.
Yeah.
And Philly's a complete asshole. Philly fans are just assholes.
Yeah. So, I want to go so bad, but that's for this year. Ultimately, I feel the same. What's up, media? How you doing, baby? I feel the same way. The fact is that no, I think it's very clear. We could say it's Super Bowl or bust with this team. We're back to that standard. Never been to a game before.
That's just Philly, man. Don't let any people who are stupid at any stadium, but I would say 95% of people are going to be chill. But it always happens. It's third, fourth quarter when everybody starts getting drunk and just people can't handle their alcohol. People get stuff. I've been to, I've been to Seahawks Stadium. Yes, I hate their fans. Most of them are cool people. We're going to shit talk. There's only a couple. Don't let it stop you from being it. Just go to a game.
And ultimately, the way I looked at it is it is on my bucket list to go to a Niner game in every stadium. That's just something that I want to do because Bubby's like, I love to travel. I'll be down to see these cities. And I'm like, hey, babe, we can do whatever you want all weekend. We usually have meet and greet day before the game, which is a nighttime event. So what we'll do for dinner. And then game Sunday. You feel me? So, yeah, I'm not, or Monday or whatever it is.
Are you trying to go to any games next year on the
road?
Besides Philly.
We have to
Philly.
Let me see. Yeah, because I was just so Philly.
Look, man, my older brother is a Steelers fan. I'm looking at that one hard.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Pittsburgh would be nice. I'm pretty sure Bub would love Pittsburgh. Let me see. My girl's family's from Minnesota.
Yeah, I've heard that Minnesota's a kick-ass town too.
I'd be curious to see. Bub would probably be down to go to Washington, D.C. again. I'm curious to see what tickets are like for the Hall of Fame or whatever. Cleveland might be nice if you just say, hey, you hit the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
and go Niners Browns.
Yeah,
but you're like, yeah, you hit the Hall of Fame. That actually might not be bad.
No, there's a lot of history you can do with that one. Just for NFL stuff.
Yeah, cradle of football as they call it. Now I'm really, really Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Minnesota might be all right.
You want to come up here?
Seattle. Yeah, I'm always like,
but Seattle's
I feel bad about that one because it's like I could do that every year, but it's like eventually I have to do it in order to do it, even though it's every year. It's like eventually, and I go like this is, I guess this is appropriate. Obviously, went 6-0 in the division. That's beyond just reasonable expectations. You can't expect 6-0 like every year in the division.
No,
but Arizona's a dumpster fire.
Yeah, and they got their new coach. So
but
it's whether or not
I say every year though. I say you look at that talent. You got D-Hop. You look at that talent on that roster, and they seem like a team that could make some noise. People that have a last place schedule, or sorry, They finished third. They have a third place schedule. Those type of things. But okay, I
It's
think.
Kyler Murray. Just keep releasing
Yeah. Kyler's
new maps for
if
Call of
they
Duty.
can get Kyler Murray in shape, they could be a legit team. Because you've seen it in games.
But you've never seen it in the playoffs, though. You've never seen it with them.
Consistently throughout the season.
Yeah. Telling you, just anytime if you ever want Kyler Murray to not play good, just release a new Call of Duty double XP weekend. It is a proven fact. Every time Call of Duty has a special going on or whatever like that, he plays like shit because all he's doing is playing Call of Duty.
And ladies and gentlemen, that's why my girl always asks me, or just various people always ask me, how could you have these players that look like Greek gods that don't do shit? And how could you have players that don't just look like your average person ends up being superstars? And I said, things like that right there is because, you're busy doing Call of Duty while the dude who had to work harder, Brock Purdy. This is somebody asked me, what do you think it is about Brock Purdy? I said, well, at the core, football is football at no matter what level it is. A cover 3 defense is a cover 3 defense.
Yeah.
I think he probably feels that I have a team that's better than your defense. Well, how many times this season we said most teams just don't have a defense that's capable of covering all the weapons we have.
Yeah.
Most teams don't. Most teams don't have the ability to just line up with us. So it's that. And I said, and experience. I said, if you're saying lack of experience is a factor with Trey Lance, then you cannot say that the experience factor is a factor with Brock Purdy.
Yeah.
And ultimately, probably bust his ass. Probably the fact that, you know what? Let's be real. He wasn't even supposed to make the roster. They drafted him with essentially being able to cut him and put him on the practice squad. Was the plan for Brock Purdy. And then he just played himself on the roster. And I think a little bit of what Fred Warner said is that, you know what? He's been going up against the best defense for, his whole rookie, since the season started.
And that does have to play a factor in it.
I mean, you're just not going to find many cover linebackers that are better than Fred Warner.
Yeah.
You're not going to, well, I mean, obviously they don't face the pressure, but the simulated pressure of Nick Bosa. Just most teams don't have a Nick Bosa and an Eric Armstead and a.
Yeah. Well, when you were saying, how these guys look like that and then play like crap, working out's easy.
Yeah.
Working out is real easy. They're probably, you bust your butt in the gym for what, 2.5 hours a day? That's not the hardest thing in the world to do. Are you going to go home or stay late at the stadium another 4, 5, 6, 10 hours and study every single little thing? And that's where the difference is.
Mm-hmm.
Brock Purdy, obviously not the same physical specimen as Kyler Murray. But while Kyler Murray is home playing Call of Duty and all that kind of stuff, getting the stats up on that, someone like Brock Purdy, is watching all that film, studying, okay, this linebacker does this, he has this tendency, all that kind of stuff. And that's what it is. There's the difference.
Yeah, it is. Now, you have people like Javon Kinlaw, who sometimes it's injury, which, speaking of which, I don't know if it's been official, but it's official without being official. They're not going to pick up his 5th-year option.
No.
I believe it would be the same on the cap to keep him versus cut him. So does Javon Kinlaw make the 2023 roster?
I think he makes the team, depending on obviously how his knee is. But I think if anything else, he goes to the lower end of the defensive rotation. Maybe he only comes in like short yardage type thing, as his size and stuff like that. But I don't think he comes close to starting unless he just has like a miraculous recovery. I think he goes down to the end of the road.
Or unfortunately, there's nobody better. Which I think is what happened in the NFC Championship game. It's just Javon's the best we got.
See, at this rate, I would just take anybody else.
Give me a healthy body. Chris Kosaric is going to make him productive. Just give me a healthy body.
Yeah.
You know, and
I hate saying that because I know we defended him, and I still have some faith in him. I just don't have faith in his health at this point.
That's what it is. Because if you can get Javon Kinlaw, and see the thing people said, well, it looked like he regressed. And I was like, well, how much has he really been practicing? Because football is the type of sport you got to practice to get better. They don't just practice for shits and giggles. I remember my football coach used to tell us that. We're not out here just for shits and giggles. Like there's a purpose to everything we do.
Yeah.
You know? And so when has Javon Kinlaw really had time to get better at his craft? So if you could get Javon Kinlaw on the field and, you know, enough reps and being better and practice time and those things, I have no ability of him at least just being a great run defender and picking up blocks to free up Eric Armstead.
Anybody at his size, he should be able to take up a couple.
I have no problem with Javon Kinlaw at this point if that's what he becomes in 2023.
Yeah.
But I remember saying this with D Ford, that backs just don't get better. Backs generally get worse over time. Knees don't generally get better. If you have a degenerative knee, you know, if you've had a knee reconstruction, that's just generally not going to get better over time, especially when you're a massive human being that puts a lot of weight and pressure on, you know, your knees.
Yeah, he's a big boy. He's a big man.
So, I please, Javon, please prove me wrong. Please. You know, prove me wrong. I would love nothing more than Javon Kinlaw to prove me wrong.
Yeah.
Nothing more than to prove Grant Cohn wrong. Because as the season's gone on, and you said something to me that generally really kind of changed my opinion, I haven't watched. I'll probably start picking up in the offseason because I like to watch his offseason shit. But he tries to be TMZ. And at the end of the day, I'm just not that into trash TV. You know, Jerry Springer, you know, all those type of just don't really do it for me. Like, you know, so prove, you know, Grant Cohn wrong. Who, I want to say this, if anybody knows Grant watching the show, whatever it is, I have no problem with Grant Cohn personally. Nothing but a cool dude to me. You know.
And then there's me.
Well, yeah. Then there's Jason. Jason's separate. But me personally, I have no problem. Did he hate on the Niners in our conversation? Yeah. Did he say, hey, they could go get blown out by Pittsburgh tomorrow? Because it was right before the home opener in 2019. Yeah, he did. And I said, look, Grant, I don't have a problem with that. I said, if you and me want to sit down and have a conversation and you want to tell me ways that you think the Niners can lose, I'm all of that. But if you walk up to me and say, the Niners suck, fuck the Niners, I'm like, fuck you, bro. What's up? I think either Jason's glitching out, I'm glitching out.
It's my camera. My camera's been doing this lately.
All right. I think that's probably about signs to wrap it up. Real quick, Jason, final thoughts on the season and biggest reason for hope in 2023.
Final thoughts was just basically like I've said a million times since the end of the season. It was a hell of a ride. I had fun. Well, maybe not necessarily fun over. Yeah. Hey, guess what? We're gonna have more content coming up with the shit going on. I mean, it never freaking ends. How many years in a row are we having quarterback content? Just where most of the off season is going to be, you know, wrapped or discussed quarterback stuff. Because we want to talk about, you know, Trey versus Brock. Okay, we're still going to need a third quarterback. Do we bring in somebody? Do we try and draft somebody? Do we, you know, bring in a vet? I actually like the idea of bringing in somebody like Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan's not going to start anywhere. He knows the system. He'd be a pretty good mentor for those two guys. You know what I mean? So, you know, where do you go with something like that? I've even heard that some people are like, hey, let's bring Jimmy back. Let's not do that. But, hey, we can have a conversation about it.
I think where there's smoke, where there's fire. I think the Niners were pissed because they wanted Jimmy to suit up the NFC Championship game.
Yeah, I do believe that one.
I do believe that. And I do believe with what happened after the end of 2020, where basically I do believe Kyle was taking shots at Jimmy, saying, well, I can't look my team in the eye and somebody's healthy and can't play. All those little type of things. And here comes George Kittle, playing, and but where's Jimmy? I do believe that. And I do believe this year that they thought, hey, are you rehabbing to be ready for free agency, or are you rehabbing to be ready for the NFC Championship game?
Yep.
And I think Jimmy was rehabbing for free agency, which fine. Jimmy has the right to do what's best for James Richard Garoppolo. But the best for the Niners would obviously have been rehabbed, because I believe that, and I think Kyle's bitter because Kyle says, fuck that. Jimmy on, haven't practiced or whatever, I could function with that. You essentially left me with the quarterback that I can function with. And so I don't think Jimmy's coming back. I think it's very clear. I think it's came to head. I think this year happened to be circumstances where Jimmy found out maybe his market wasn't too hot to trot. And they essentially said, Jamie, where else are you going to go make $16 million? You've had all offseason to try to do it. You can't find it. Come here, come make $16 million. And,
don't take the field.
Yeah, basically. But obviously didn't work out that way. But all right, yeah. So biggest hope for 2023?
We still got Kyle Shanahan as our coach. And the man can make stuff work. Like look at what we've had for quarterbacks this year. Look what he's done with Jimmy. So I mean, we've been competitive.
Real quick, shout out to the real coach of the year, Brian fucking Greasy.
I want to know how much or what exactly he's doing, because nothing is Shanahan or what he's doing. But Greasy is more hands-on when it comes to that kind of stuff. And you know what? He was never really a coach before.
And I was questioning him.
Oh, I think all of us were, because it's like all you did was pull him out of the booth.
Big. You know what? I think we have to say this. Props to Kyle Shanahan, because he could put together a hell of a staff.
Every year. How many coaches did we lose again? We're like, what? I want to see exactly like what his coaching tree looks like in about 4 or 5 years. It's gonna, because he has a huge coaching tree that's starting out.
It is very, very interesting. See who has success, see who doesn't. I wonder if Robert Saleh's, the greats. We'll get into Chris Wilkes next week and everything like that. I'm trying to dig up a little bit more on him to find out more information. But big props to Kyle Shanahan, because he could, which honestly I think was one of Harbaugh's most underrated abilities, was the staff he put together in his regime. Yeah. Now, say what you want about Greg Roman, but obviously the defensive staff he put together was top notch.
Greg Roman's still coaching in NFL.
I mean, I'll never ever forgive 4 fucking fade routes to Crabtree. I'm just sorry. I'm not ever gonna forget that. So, which I know he would argue, if they call the same holding against Jimmy, against Crabtree, that fade route would have worked if they actually, threw the flag. But anyway, my biggest reason for hope in 2023 is I'm gonna do part 1 and part 2. I think one of them, he wears number 97, one defensive player of the year. About to get fucking paid this offseason. And I think we'll have beyond the motivation. He clearly was motivated this year by I want to get paid and everything like that. But I think we'll be motivated like, okay, I'm going to show people that, hey, now that I got the bag, you ain't seen nothing yet. I'm going to go out and earn it. And another number 23, because Kyle Shanahan be scheming. And if you're surprised at what he came up with in 12 games of Christian McCaffrey, imagine when he has an whole offseason. He has an whole offseason to be like, this year we did this, so now we're going to do this because they'll think we're going to do this. I mean, Kyle Shanahan's going to outthink
himself. Which we've already said is a problem at times.
It is a problem at times. And I think that going into year 6 and finally what would have been the last year of the first contract he got, I think we could take some guesses at what Kyle Shanahan era is. He is as advertised, one of the best offensive play callers in the league, a hell of a coach. I think we'll get the best out of his players. Haven't seen too many funny business, not too much funny business. We're not getting a rest every other week. Clearly runs a tight ship. He runs a tight ship. The organization is going in the right direction. Can outthink himself. Sometimes, says I'm the genius and, I know what was best. But I definitely think that the Niners are in hands. And I would be very shocked and very sick if number 6 doesn't come home soon. Somehow, some way. Because if I think anything's taught us this year is you give us functional quarterback play. Functional. Not all pro, functional quarterback play. We'll go ahead and let you go, bro.
Yeah, well, I'm just going to turn my camera off right now.
Yeah, okay, there we go. If you give us functional quarterback play, we got that D. I think we can do our damn thing. Last words, Jason, and then we'll let you get up out of here.
I can't wait for this offseason. There's a lot of stuff for us to go over. I'm not going to say I'm not excited for the draft just because we don't draft till the 3rd round kind of a thing, but I have a feeling we're going to end up getting into the early 2nd somehow. We have enough draft picks where we can probably get up and get somebody in the 2nd early.
I'm curious to see. I'm definitely fired up for free agency because I think that could give us, okay, do we redo Mike McGlinchey? Do we lose Jimmy Ward? Because right now I think that I'm going to kind of wait and see where we're at free agency, because we might legitimately need a safety. We might need a starting right tackle.
There's a few good ones out there.
I'm excited. Obviously, not excited for May and June so much, but definitely excited for the next couple weeks as we get closer to free agency and the draft. We shall see y'all next week. Bro, I shall see you next week.
Yep.
Keep doing your thing, bro, on social media.
Always.
All right, y'all. Thanks, Jason, for coming on. As you see, your boy smoking a blunt because it's time to relax from work. But hell of a week. I shall see y'all, or we shall see y'all next week. Same faithful time, same faithful channel. Till we get out of here. Coupon code for 10% off is the quest continues. 10% excludes any on-sale items. Use our affiliate link at shop49ers.com. Get 10% off. Go to cgiant.com. Use the promo code NinerFaithfulRadio. Save on all your theater, concert, and sporting event tickets, as well as help out the show. Follow Jason on social media on Facebook, Instagram, and Tumblr at NinerFaithfulRadio and Twitter at NinerFaithfulR. To see everywhere you can subscribe to the show, visit NinerFaithfulRadio.com. We shall see y'all next week. Till then, faith, love, and happiness. Go Niners.
You are now listening to Niner Faithful Radio, the show for the faithful, by the faithful.
See ya.